Well, I started in Cambridge in 1964 at a time when Enid was the Folk Museum and the Folk Museum was Enid. And you walk down past the entrance to the Folk Museum, which was then in Castle Street, and she would be sitting in her little office with her electric fire in the cold, waiting for people to come in, but also talking to people when they came in and relating to them and collecting materials. Now, what Enid was doing here, a certain amount of our work overlapped because I worked in Cambridge Library and the Cambridgeshire Collection, which is a collection of printed books and ephemera and posters and notices and pictures and engravings, some of which are common to Enid. And the researchers that would come to Enid for information would also come to us for information. And there would be times when we'd have people coming into the library and they would be asking questions that I thought would be better answered from the resources of the Folk Museum. So I phoned up Enid and said, Enid, can you talk to this gentleman who's come from whatever, who's doing this particular research? And there were times when she would phone me up, and that would be exciting. The phone would, and it would be Enid. And to spread the work of the collection, Enid would go out and give talks. And the talks that she gave at the annual meetings of the Folk Museum Trust in the Guildhall, I would try and make time to sneak away from the library to actually hear her go. And then she was involved with other groups, and I remember going to various meetings in the hope that she would have made the time to go there. And so we did get to know each other, and the time came when Enid was not at all well, and she was in Addenbrooke's Hospital for a while. And when she was in Addenbrooke's Hospital, I went to visit her. And just as she had gone into the fens and talked to people like Barrett at Brandon Creek, then I went to talk with Enid. And I took a tape recorder, and we were just chatting about different topics and things, and trying to get some sort of recording of it. Didn't really work too well in Addenbrooke's Hospital because it was the old hospital with the old echoing corridors and the doors would bang. But the time we spent together just chatting and doing to Enid what Enid had done to so many other people, and that is talking to a person and trying to draw out something of their memories, is something obviously we'll remember. Enid did so much. The thing that everybody is going to remember is her tales, is her work in the fens with people like Barrett and her Tales from the Fens book, which whatever value they have as historical documents, which may not be good, but she kept alive this idea of the fens and the independence of the fens and the talk and the folklore of the fens. But she was more than that. She was more than that in her other work, and it was lovely to see her expertise being recognised by Cambridge academics in the publication that was done on women folklorists, and Enid was one of those that was featured. So she was collecting that in her notebooks and her jottings. She's recording things that she's told. She's also managing to ensure that certain items like the Chater diaries are preserved. She set herself up as a person that was interested in the past, and when people had their own personal things that belonged to them and wanted a home for them, then they could feel that the Folk Museum would be a place that would welcome them and take them in and look after them and care for them. So all of that was Enid. And it was also good that towards the end of her career, the University of Cambridge recognised Enid and her achievement, and that she would be awarded an honorary MA degree in the Senate House in recognition of her work on Cambridgeshire folklore. And that has an impact to me because many years later, when I too was awarded an honorary degree, then the precedent for that was Enid Porter. And then when a few years later Alan Brigham has been awarded his honorary degree, the precedent for that was that I'd got one because Enid had had one. But if Enid hadn't had one in the first place, all that would have lost.